fueron de 43. Ah, órale. Ah, bueno. Ah, pues.
And then once we said goodbye to this world, we went to the next one. And that one has made the most famous character of any campaign I've ever seen.
I don't know what it is, but Duke has this fascination with the next character that I made. Her name is Brunta. She's a druid minotaur, and she talks like this.
Massive, buff Minotaur lady.
And she, like, with our entire campaign with her, she basically became this elemental forest god who is just like, are you using plastic straws? You die.
Yes, exactly. She was eco-friendly terrorist.
Eco-friendly terrorist!
That's what she was.
That is the best thing ever.
And so I have now this sticking point to anybody who plays. If they decide to play a Minotaur, I tell them, so here's the example of what Minotaurs are like in my world. They're brash, they're not friendly exactly, but it's kind of that kind of thing of...
You make me happy, you don't get in my way, we're
no
chill.
emotions. No emotions, basically,
Yeah.
other than pure, unadulterated rage. Basically, think Doomslayer.
Yes.
Doomslayer, but
With
Lady
a-
Minotaur.
Yeah. Like, there was one thing where eventually she came back in another campaign, and she basically walked us through a mountain.
Yes! I loved that one. No, that was especially good because what happened was, it was this world that I was like, okay, so it's going to be a whole original world, but what I'm going to do, which will be fun, is I'm going to grab all their old characters and bring them in so that they can see all these old characters and be like, holy shit, that person's here? And you should have seen Mayhem's face when I'm walking him through and I say, you get to meet the queen of the Minotaurs, and then he starts perking up, and I said, yes, Brunta walks through the wall.
Hello.
What was your reaction with that?
Just pure amazement, the fact that this character came back in such an amazing way.
That's the thing. I was obsessed because of how fun of an idea that is. It's just this wall that... But next character you made was a part of that new world, and this was also a very, very fun character you made.
Yes, his nickname was Urge. He's basically he was
like a Japanese snake person.
Yeah, he was Japanese
Which
inspired.
I will thank Christopher Zito on DM's Guild for the race.
The race was...
It was the Serpent Scrolls.
Serpents.
And he played a Naga. Yes. I tweaked it a little bit to give you more, like, protagonist features, basically.
Yeah.
But still. And it was pretty fun. It was honestly really fun to see you play around. This was the establishing point for you making just permanent bastard characters.
Yeah, so this was the turning point where I basically was just, like, I think Brunta was technically the turning point, but...
Brunta was... She was pretty bold in her personality, but Urge was straight up a bastard.
Yeah, there was a certain parameters for their length. Imagine like a mermaid built.
I said you could be
snake
you
person.
could see it be around this long, and he said max it out.
Yeah, and I also made the mistake of also like overestimating their weight. So I was this super long, I was like, how long was I? I was like 20 or 30 feet long, I can't remember.
You were 20 feet long.
20 feet, yeah. And
which was over the limit, in all honesty.
I couldn't, and I was like...
And so protagonist features came out the wazoo.
And he also had this, the reason why his nickname was Urge was because he had this fascination with materials. He literally could have been, taken over to the enemy side because they could offer him, a massive amount of gold.
He has a very fun story involved with him. Basically what happened was, in session 0 of the game, we had this whole moment where like he was experimenting with all these different things, and then did a nat 20 deception roll to say, "Oh, I'm totally this general dude who's just been missing." And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll roll with it." And I said, "Hey, can I know something about your family?" And he said, "Yeah, no, I don't have any family." And I said, "Perfect." And I said, "Fuck it. You're gonna fight your dad,
So basically,
who looks just like you."
yeah. So a nat 20 roll gained me a father,
Yeah. Nat 20, gain a father.
and it's like, how did like
It was a great story opportunity, honestly.
it was, and that's the perfection of D&D. The fact that things can so easily either spiral out of control
Yeah.
or come together to make this perfect cake.
Heck yeah.
You
So-
either make neurotoxin or a cake,
That's right.
but you use the same ingredients.
Before we get to your last character, Mayhem, I need to mention the one that I got from you for a one-shot.
when I finally did a full-on campaign,
So I decided to fuck with Mayhem in the opposite way. He makes simple bastard characters. I write 20 pages of backstory.
this motherfucker.
I'll be honest, I love writing for stuff like this. Whenever I get a chance to like make my own thing, I love it because I get to basically build a massive playground that people can play in and just have all kinds of fun in. And I love seeing the reactions of people saying like, "Oh, that's a really cool idea." Like, "Oh, that's really cool." Just all these different moments.
And you wonder why you're always the DM.
No, I understand why I'm always the DM. It just sucks to be like, "Wow, this is a really cool idea to play as a character. I wish I could." Which, hey, in all honesty, that's the good thing about being a DM. You can just find a way to put it into your story in the future.
Yeah. It's just like, now we meet this character. He does this.
All kinds of characters I look at in my campaign where I'm like, I would love to play these as an actual character. And, like, best example is Bone Daddy. But-
Oh my god. So, you're probably all wondering, what the heck is this green skull thing have to do with green villains?
The Green Skull is my favorite NPC I've ever made, named Bone Daddy.
So let's give some
To,
backstory on
to
him.
quote Christopher Zito, being a lich is a job choice. It's an occupational choice. It is not a moral choice.
If you're making that decision, it's already out of the window.
Bone Daddy was basically a lich who just did it because he's like, well, I just want to read more books. I just want to read more of this shit. I want to figure out how to be like level 20 like these guys over here. Like, that sounds cool. And so he did everything in his power to just live for eternity. And he went insane, of course. But still, it was kind of that thing of like, he's insane and he's just looking for every bit of knowledge.
Yeah. Which is a
It's
good
not like,
character
oh, I don't want to
moment.
rule the world. That shit sucks.
You want to know how difficult it is to rule the world? Try ruling only a country.
Try ruling one house with 2 pets.
That always...
The food cost alone. And do you know how much they shit? Those humans shit a lot. I swear to you, never have kids.
So that's the backstory about the green skull and green
Maybe.
villain.
You never know with Bone Daddy.
He probably was just like, you know what? I want to be a logo for a shitty YouTube channel.
He cast Disguise Self and turned into a YouTube channel.
Little do you know, we're both Bone Daddy.
Anyway, what I made for his campaign, which was a very fun character, was a half-orc mimic.
Which you go, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Yes, exactly. Chris Zito made another race relatively recently known as the Mock, which is basically playable mimics. And it is a very fun one that you need to check out.
Mimics, for those who don't know, are like creatures that can disguise
The
themselves
treasure
as...
chest with teeth.
Yeah, like you can disguise yourself as other things.
Yes. The treasure chest with teeth. Well, I played that, and my whole plan was like, yeah, no, it'll be a slow burn of do this, 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 and then the campaign ended. I was like, fuck!
Well, I didn't want it to end. I wanted to keep going, but it just didn't happen.
Yep, it just didn't happen. Which, it was was fine.
It was more of like a classic. Your father is this tyrant being. We must get you to the resistance. And the captain of the guard was this half-orc mimic, but everybody only knew him as this half-orc. So they had no idea, like no one had any idea that he was actually this.
I had an idea. Maybe I ate the half-orc.
You probably like slime ate him.
Yeah. Oh, it was not slime 8.
No.
I had teeth.
So this motherfucker, what he did was, basically, he had this whole side. He created this own side story, like that was very on the under level of just about to take over the main story. If I didn't DM, no.
Yep. But now we head off into the latest campaign that we've been playing in. So to set up, give context of the world essentially is this whole thing of like there are a whole bunch of, think fairy tale with all the guilds. It's the equivalent basically of the like arms race among countries in real life. That's what it basically is.
That's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Of like, hey, look at our star bomb, but it's a level 20 character. That's essentially what it is.
So what happens whenever I make a character in a specific way? You can add points and all that kind of stuff when you're making the character sheet. And what I did was the classic roll 4 dice and subtract and all that kind of stuff. And in doing that, I got
plenty of good stats.
I got plenty of good rolls, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna
doing
create
standard array from now on."
Like, I have created the ultimate fuck you DM character.
Yes. What he does is I run through like, okay, so here's some different races you can play as, and what it was it was from my app. It was from an app on my phone called 5e Character. You can look it up on Google Play. And basically, it was I was running through all these different ones, and then we got to V, and it said like Vidalkin or something like that.
It was some weird name, and I was like, "What is that one?"
And he's like, "What is that?" And I looked it up, and I said, "It sounds basically like a lizard folk with a sword at the end of its tail."
And I said, "Done."
Yeah, he said, "Oh, I got this."
And I realized that I could do something with him that I haven't actually done. Because with
surprisingly, the one class you have not played at,
like
once even.
I want to go through them all. So Rogue, the superhero fighter guy, Paladin.
For context, he's saying what each one in order was.
Yeah. So Scales was a rogue, Falcon was a rogue, Dragonpool was a fighting superhero guy, Alonzo was a paladin, Tugo was a gunslinger, Mojir was
I believe he was a fully homebrew class.
Okay, yeah, so it's just meh. Brunto was a druid, Urge was a rogue, so I have more rogues than anything. But the new one,
a lot of rogue.
Yeah, so the new one, which I never gave him a name because I gave him.
This fucker played a bard.
It's a bard, and anybody who's played D&D knows the bard is the ultimate fuck everything race.
No, he used vicious mockery against a fucking boar, and I said, okay, what do you say to the boar? Bitch. And it died.
It fucking died.
It fucking died.
I never realized how much
fun. He looked at me and said, and I'll fucking do it again.
I'll do it again. So basically, he's a bard lizard guy that's that is very
Do you know the actual bonus of what Vicious Mockery does, by the way?
I have no idea.
They had to do a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they get disadvantage on their next attack. They're so hurt by your comment of like, am I a bitch? and so they just go like into the corner like, shit, I'm not able to hit.
I can't do it, man.
I just can't do it. That lizard folk over there, you're calling me a bitch.
But the reason why, one, I just couldn't think of a good enough name, but then I actually used it. The reason why is because he was so drunk for so long that he just forgot his name. It's like Jack Sparrow, but he forgot his name.
That's right.
That's basically who I made.
I will mention this. What was his voice, Mayhem? What was his voice?
I realized that I started to do something with him, where I made him so he's this lizard guy, So I decided to make him very like lanky, but he's very like crunched up. And I made a motion with my arms, with like T-Rex arms, and I was like, oh my god, mantis arms, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So I've basically just made him into
Lizard Doof.
a lizard Doofenshmirtz. And I just wanted to reveal his voice in a dramatic fashion, and I was just like, hello!
He started the voice, and I just looked at them while he was making his character, and I just said, Mayhem, I hate you so much.
I'm still here!
Not for long.
So,
But, yeah, that was the character that he most recently made. Nameless Doof Lizard.
So, I just want to apologize now, dude. The next time we make a new character, he's gonna be a bard. I need to continue this high.
You're just gonna test out every subclass of bard from now on.
Yep. And like I'm
God
not even paying attention to like what the abilities actually do. Like I just like the names of them. Like Vicious Mockery, like that is the best thing ever. Like I could just go and whisper to somebody, and that's why it's so funny to be like, bitch.
So anyway, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is about what is your dream character you would want to play, Mayhem? Like a character that you just want to play someday just for shits and giggles.
Like, so we've been going through all these characters. Like, one's a dragon person fighter dude, one's a bird gunslinger, one's a minotaur druid. And I'm just like, I wonder what it's like to actually play a human fighter. Literally the most basic self-insert possible.
There's a reason it's popular. Genuinely, there is a reason why it's popular. Humans get a +1 to every stat.
Every stat.
No, that's the thing. You know what? It's either that or they get a feat at level 1. That's the thing. For people who don't know, feats are massive indeed. That sounded wrong. Anyway. No.
I was about to say, but humans have the 2 feet.
Shut the hell up. No. What basically happens is you get all these different abilities you can possibly have. You can get Magic Initiate, which no matter what class you get spells. Just immediately at first level.
I'm a
just
human
be
fighter and I do
I have
magic.
Eldritch Blast now. I'm a human fighter with Eldritch Blast.
Thanks for that idea.
God damn you.
And what was your dream character?
My dream character was actually a human sorcerer.
The closest thing I was ever to be a human, the closest thing I have to a human was Alonzo.
Yeah, well, with my human sorcerer idea, is I grabbed all this kind of like Hispanic culture and just shoved it into one character and then labeled it Telenovela, the anime.
An anime opening!
It's like, imagine a telenovela, but also edited or like animated by Trigger Studios.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like one of those like cheesy
Animated
sitcoms.
by the same studio behind Kill la Kill. There we go.
They're brilliant with their animation.
Exactly. But, yeah, that is all our character stuff, all our player stuff. I would like to thank you for watching this video. Next week, we will be putting out the next video in this series, which will be talking about the campaigns that we ourselves run. Like, the ones we've run before, what we want to run in the future, that kind of stuff, you know.
And it will actually be episode 4.
Yes, it will.
Not episode 3, part 2.
Yeah, it will be episode 4.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. All right.
To leave you off with a controversial note, Link was a bard.